I was having some fun
All
looking
right,
at.
looks like it is like we are live. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. I know what's going on with my thing right now. Good morning. We'll give them a couple minutes. Welcome to Tarot Talk with Minnassa, the Diva of Divination. We're going to give some time for the notification to go out. One time I was started and someone told me in the comments, the notification just went out. I was like, oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, that did that once halfway through my show, and then the notification went out. I'm like, come on,
And you know,
YouTube.
Sonja, I was trying to watch I was watching the replay of your show, and I'm like, what's going on? I guess my headphones aren't working. So then I took my headphones out,
Oh,
and
what?
then I'm like, what's the So then I thought, let me restart my computer, to restart my laptop, which I did. And then I thought, this is still not working. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh, something's going on. I was like, oh
I forgot my mic came unplugged, and then I didn't realize it was unplugged, and so I'm talking, and I'm saying hi to everybody in the chat, and finally people start saying, I can't hear you, and I went, oh my god! So it was like a full on minute or two of me talking without my mic turned off. So yeah, that happens sometimes.
I just got my notification, Minnassa.
And it was and KD, that Moonology deck that you did yesterday.
Yes.
Powerful. Powerful. I love that deck.
I've got goosebumps. You just said that and it gave me, I got touched. And I get goosebumps like that. I get validation from angels. They'll touch me on my shoulder or somewhere and I'll get a zing down my spine. And it just,
nice.
Yeah. It's a, it makes you stand right up.
I love that. All right, well, let's get started.
Your backdrop.
What'd you say? You?
I love your backdrop, Katie.
Beautiful.
Beautiful.
Oh, thank you. I'm all about the plant medicine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. Amazon. It's
oh, I was gonna say, is that one of yours?
Oh no, it's just a tapestry supposed to go hang on the wall, you know. But I got a green screen and a green screen frame. Green screens don't work so well for this.
Yeah.
If you cut cards, they're green, everything disappears.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
All right, ladies, we've got some folks joining us. And so good morning, everyone, and welcome to Tarot Talk with Minnassa. I am the Diva of Divination, and today is an extra edition in honor of Women's History Month. This show is usually the first and third Saturday, and this is the second Saturday. And I thought, let's just live it up for the Women's History Month. And I invited 3 beautiful, powerful, fire-filled, spirit-filled, intuitive, magical, awesome women to join me. You know, and the thing is, you know, who you hang around is who you become. So I have like a purpose in this. Let me get around this. Let me be around this. And so it's very beautiful. I want to welcome those of you who are watching. Just let us know you're here. Say good morning in the chat. And so I want to introduce my guests. I have Katie Moonchild. And first of all of these women are a part. I met them through Tarot Love Community. So again, a shout out to Rayne at Tarot Love Community. And then each one of these women with an open arms and open heart welcomed me into this community. I have never set foot in, I don't even know these ladies from other have met them here. Thank you, J Rock. Good morning and good morning. And their love, and good morning, Donald, and their graciousness empowers me and inspires me. Okay, here we go. Now let me get to preaching now. And then the church said, okay, no, that's my show on Sunday. So Katie Moonchild is here today from Tucson, Arizona. And what time is it? Because I know Phoenix is, Arizona's on its own time zone.
It's 10:05.
Okay, so you're just an hour behind.
Till tomorrow, I'll be Pacific time tomorrow.
You'll be on Pacific time tomorrow.
Right now, I'm Mountain Standard Time. We don't go on daylight.
Yes, I know that you guys don't change, but I never know what time it is in Arizona.
So it's weird because you guys all get to do the hour thing. I change time zones. And I don't do anything. I go with nature, and it's wonderful to just feel
just
it.
flow. Exactly.
Yeah.
Just flow. Indeed,
Yeah.
indeed. Well, Katie, thank you so much for being here and welcome. And then I have the Soul Sistas Tarot, who each have their own amazing channels as it is. We have Sonja, Rayne Lee, and EQ, both who are out in LA. We're talking about how I'm sitting in the snow today. Well, I'm in my house. But Sonja has her Wellness Wednesday. She has her coffee chat, and then together they have their Soul Sisters Tarot. And then EQ started out. EQ, say it for me. The Path of the Blue Lotus.
Wisdom of the Blue Lotus.
Wisdom of the Blue Lotus.
Mm.
Follow these ladies, please. If you don't already, subscribe to their channels. Each one of them very gracious. And then EQ, if you haven't seen Share Your Wares, has some beautiful. Do you have one of your crystal bottles with you? And look, Katie's got one too, so I got to get with the program.
Katie, you have strawberries in yours.
I got strawberries and mint in mine.
Ooh, cool.
So very
Great way
good.
to start your morning, you know, fresh
Yeah.
mouth.
And then very good. And then Sonja and Katie also do plant medicine. And so there is a huge amount of wisdom in this sacred space right now. And so follow these ladies, because it's not just about tarot readings, it's about wisdom. And yes, fancy. That's right.
Fancy.
It's about wisdom. It's about intuition. It's about divine inspiration and guidance. And I want to shout out J-Rock. I was talking last time about, I don't know, a lot of stuff, but talking about Lilith. And a lot of people don't know the story of Lilith and about how she's the first woman. Now, this is according to the Jewish Midrash. And she's the first woman in the Bible. And then she didn't act right, so she got kicked out. And that's how Eve came. But a lot of people don't know that story and how she became demonized. And all of a sudden she hates children and wants to eat your kids. It's like, why? Because she wanted to be, you know. So he's like, I always learn something from your show, or J-Rock. So I appreciate that. That's a big thing for me to be teaching. So today, this show is going to begin. We're going to talk about our favorite women. Hey, Lily, and Wisdom of the Blue Lotus. There you go. EQ checking in. We're talking about our favorite women of the tarot. And your comments are welcome in the chat, and you're welcome to send your greetings. So we're going to talk today as a part of Women's History Month. The women in the tarot, our favorite women in the tarot. And very interesting, Heather Hardison, Dr. Heather Hardison did a show on her podcast about the queens. I had never really just looked at them, the queens in the tarot deck, and how each one brings a different power and each one brings a different message. So I don't know, I love the tarot and I love the oracle, and I keep falling in love with my decks all over again. You know, so let's begin, ladies. Let's start with you, Sonja, and then we'll just EQ, and then Katie, and then I'll go. Okay. What is one of your favorite women or favorite divine feminine energies from the tarot, or your favorite oracle deck?
Okay. Well, first, thank you so much, Minnassa, for we're just as honored to have met you as you have met us. So it goes both ways. Excuse me, my throat's a little groggy. You know, it's 9 o'clock in the morning here for us. I know. So I'm still waking up here. And it's because we love you that we're here.
I appreciate it.
So I have a few, but I'll start with the first one, and that would be the Empress in the tarot deck. And there's a story behind that. When I got my divorce, that was, well, first separated, that was probably about, I don't know, is it 6 years now? I don't know. Time goes by so fast. I knew that there was some work that I wanted to continue and do with myself. And I realized that I was very strong in my masculine energy, but my feminine energy needed some work. And I really wanted to be more connected with that part of me and create more balance. You know, it's just, I feel like my masculine energy, I had to stand in that for so long because of the trauma and everything else that I experienced. I just, that was just me. I was really in that. Anyhow, I went to this workshop, and it was a goddess workshop. And just hearing about all these amazing, beautiful goddesses, and those are my other two that I love. I have two other goddesses that I'm really attached to. But I met this woman, and she really spoke to me, and I felt like I needed to be doing one-on-one work with her. So I met with her, had a consultation, and I had to go home and think about it. And I said, I don't know if this is right for me or not. And so I pulled some cards. I said, I'm just going to pull one card to see if this is right for me. And at the time I had my little African deck of cards, and this is the one that I pulled.
Oh.
Ooh, the Empress. And so to me, that signified, yes, that is time for me to step into my divine feminine and to really work on myself. And, I just love all the different types of cards of the Empress. She just is very secure, sure of herself. That's from the Raider Waite card. This one is from, which I love this one, from the Muse. Very universal. And I just want to read a little bit here what it says about her, or some of the key words, that she's a nurturing energy, a mothering love from the universe, Gaia and the divine feminine, fertility, healing, self-love, compassion, creating a path that is healing for yourself and for others, unbridled creativity. And I just love that so much. And here's the one from the Light Seers, as we see her kind of giving birth to the earth there. So she's just very powerful, very much connected to her sensuality, and that really helped me to move into that new space of discovery for myself. So that's one of the reasons why I love the Empress.
Here's the Empress from the Spirit Song deck.
Oh, nice.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Beautiful bunny. And so for her, it says beauty and abundance. All righty, Q, you're up.
So I want to first let you guys know there's this beautiful deck called the Beauty Tarot. And what I like about this particular deck is every character is a woman. All the kings are women. Everything is about the feminine. So it's a beautiful deck. And what I identify with is actually the High Priestess. You can see that's the card in that deck. Very, very powerful. Yes. And what struck me, actually just this morning, when I was preparing, I printed out some of the characteristics of the High Priestess. I'm going to kind of go through a few of them, and then I'm going to tag that in on this aha moment I just had.
Okay.
So with the High Priestess, the meaning of it is mystery, stillness, or passivity. But the card suggests that it's the time to retreat, reflect upon the situation, and trust your inner instincts to guide you through. And it's also about hidden talents, intuition, mystery, spiritual insights, and things that are yet to be revealed. So it's similar to Sonja's story. When I went through my divorce 7 years ago, and going through that divorce, I made the choice to start my life over again, and I literally let everything go. I was in Atlanta, and my house, all of my possessions, everything, and minimal finances, and I moved back to LA. So I had I call it the 3 C's: my clothes, my car, and my 2 cats. We packed in the car and we drove 3 days to get to LA. And that was a journey, you guys. Oh my gosh. To having to start from nothing. Nothing was working for me in my life. I felt like, God, what is this? Am I being tested? Every job I went for that I should have gotten, I didn't. It was just the lowest point in my life. However, it was the best part of my life. Now that I look back at it, that mystery, I didn't see it. Everything was hidden from me. So I thought, but things started to evolve as my mind shifted. And then when I started putting my feminine power in front and saying, I deserve this, I deserve that, and speaking my truth, then I feel like I empowered that High Priestess. And I also started my spiritual journey again. And I didn't hide it like I did, in my past. So I just feel this uplifting with this High Priestess when I see the card and I resonate with that card. And then what brings it together is my name. So my real name, I don't think I've ever said this on any channels, So my real name is Equandala. Equandala
Beautiful.
means, so we think, when or coming. In French, from the A to the D, the way it's spelled is when or coming. And then the ALA of my last name sums it all up in Spanish. So when you put it all together, it's like, when are you coming? We're waiting on you. And I was like, oh my gosh, that was my secret. And now I am in my power. So
Beautiful.
yeah.
So here is the High Priestess card. I have this deck. I wanted to learn Spanish, and this deck is with her owl. She's the owl. The High Priestess is just so powerful. And then, of course, the High Priestess from my Spirit Song deck, the Lynx.
I love that card.
That's nice.
Lynx.
Yes.
Okay, and Katie, I want you to know that J Rock is saying good morning to you, and Jamina, good to see you. Welcome. Okay, Katie.
Well, I really had to do some thinking on this because there's two queens that I identify with. First one, as an Aquarius, is the Queen of Swords.
All right.
All through my life, I have been the person who has taken a back seat, taken care of everyone else, and never voiced my opinion. When I started changing that, also, it didn't have to do with a divorce. It had to do with being diagnosed with fibromyalgia. And then 10 years later, being diagnosed with breast cancer. When that diagnosis hit, it was, do I survive? Or what do I do? Why did you give me this? And at the time, I was very, very Christian fundamentalist. God, why did you do this to me? What's the purpose? Am I supposed to help is what I'm going through supposed to help somebody else? If that's the case, let's go. And all I heard was, it's going to be a long journey, but I will be with you step by step. And there will be times when I will carry you. And I knew I was going to live. So let's go for it. So Queen of Swords, and cut through it. Cut those cords that hold you back. The other one, as an Aquarius, is the Queen of Cups. We have a tendency, Aquarius, is we keep a lid on our emotions. Took me years to learn my emotions because I was raised by a mom who was raised by a Victorian era mother. Women were not to be heard from or any attention brought to. So my mother was all, don't be loud, and I'm loud and I'm boisterous. And it's like, don't make those faces. You look so pretty. Don't make. And it's like, Mom, this is me. I'm not grandma. I don't have to live by grandma's rules. But I learned to keep a lid on my emotions to the point where it held me back. But the woman oracle goddess that's helped me the most, and this is from the Doreen Virtue Goddess Guidance Oracle deck, is Bridget. I'm Celtic. She's a warrior. She's strength. And she says, don't back down anymore. Speak your voice. Don't back down anymore. So, yeah, she's got fire in her heart. And that's where I've come from. I've come from holding all that back forever and ever and ever. And when I got breast cancer, my kidneys failed. I almost died. And when I came back from that, I came back with a really loud bang. Lightning hit. I was in intensive care. Lightning hit the emergency room door, which was underneath my room. Knocked out all the power in the whole hospital. But I was unconscious, and that's how I was brought to consciousness. Wham! And it was like, whoa, what happened here? Last I knew, I was sleeping at home. And I'm waking up, and it's totally dark with a really loud bang. And then all the computer the lights started to flicker and come on, and I realized I'm in a hospital. Oh yeah, I had to go to the ER because your brain isn't working
Wow.
because
Yeah.
of the toxins in your head. So I have had my health issues, and so this is my final goddess, is Isha.
Oh my Lord, I love her.
I do too.
She
Medicine
is
woman.
all
Mm.
about healing in every way. That's all I got to say. She's all,
You know,
you are a
KD,
channel for divine healing power, and we all have it.
you know,
Doesn't matter
KD,
what.
get the I'm encouraging you to get it's called the Earth. I'll send you a picture afterwards. It's called the Earth Warriors Oracle. I think
Ooh,
it's called the Earth Warriors or Earth. It's by now everything's going out of my mind. It's by Alana Fairchild. And she's got an amazing Ixchil came to me through that deck
oh,
and was like, hello, I want to work with you. So now I have my little jazzle that I wear. So yes. And you know what? My gosh,
wow.
Sonja,
I
EQ and
pulled her.
KD.
I
What?
pulled her about 3 times last year
What
during our
powerful
lockdown and all that.
stories. I had no idea. What? Listen to, for those of you who are watching, and yes, I greet those of you who, I have like 10 people during the show and then like 50 people watch it after the fact. So thank you for those of you that catch it, because I get it, it's early, but thank you. But I want all of you who are watching, those of you who are with us now, and those of you who watch it later, take a breath. There has been some powerful testimonies about the transformative energy of stepping into the divine feminine, of letting go, of being bold. And
Yeah.
ladies,
I mean, I'm like actually tearing up a little bit
I'm
because
like,
I was like,
ladies,
My
yes.
whoa, hearing both of your story. I'm like, I mean, I know EQ's story, but to hear her say it again and just all of our stories and Minnassa, I know you're strong and powerful too. And it's like, whoa, it's intense but beautiful, very beautiful.
You know,
Yes.
and this
Got me a
is
little teary eyed.
the woman's story. You know,
yes.
the power in keeping us apart. Because when we come together, look at what's happening. And I'm like, wow. I'm giggling to myself because Spirit's like, yeah, that's what you thought the show was going to be about, huh? This powerful healing, you know, because it's very funny. I started my tarot journey, my business in my divorce.
Wow.
So it's hilarious. But wow, I'm just wow. Wow, you ladies, what an inspiration. Thank you so much. And for sharing your authentically and so vulnerably. Thank you so much. Wow. Okay, show's over. No. It's like church is done. Hallelujah. Right?
So Minnassa, I was like, I'm curious. I'm waiting to hear. Oh, I want to see yours. What did you pick?
So
Yeah,
my
I'm so
ladies, so
yours.
I like you. I have a lot, and this is going to be part one of this program. Okay, we have to bring our decks again. So my favorite lady in the tarot, partially because of my divorce, because like you, EQ, I mean, literally, I was homeless. My husband, because I was being, listen to you, Katie. You know, I got married. I was old, and I married a young man. And so I didn't want to upset him. And then once I was like, this shit is not working, I didn't want to look like a failure because everyone was like, what are you doing? You know, wake up.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, yeah, I don't know. But I had so much fear about being rejected and not being loved. And I was coming up on 50 and hadn't been married. And I wasn't going to be one of those women because I had read some article years ago that if a Black woman doesn't get married by the time she's 50, she's never going to get married and no one's going to love her and she's not going to have any value and she's not going to have any worth. Okay, right?
Yeah.
So I get into this relationship and literally homeless, had a beautiful condo, and just because I can't put everything on him because it takes two to tango. And I didn't know how to step into my voice, and I didn't know how to step into my power, and I was fear of looking like a fool. And so as I began my tarot journey, this lady caught my attention, the Nine of Pentacles. She is the Lady of Leisure. And I thought, that's me. That's who I'm going to be. And Pentacles are earth sign, so it's already, you know, as I'm a Virgo. And I love her now in this deck, in the Light
Like
Seers.
seers, yeah.
Yeah.
But that woman who around her is flourishing, around her is growing, and she is enjoying it. You know, I have a sweet friend who passed away a couple of weeks ago, beautiful house, saving her money. She kept having this pain in her back, which she thought was related. I think I've shared to lumbar, 2, 3, whatevs. Oh, and she told me one day she kept having a horrible headache. No, she had cancer all over her body, but she kept attributing every pain to her back. Ah, Pentacles, yes. And so, you know, again, I love the Lady of Leisure because she is planted, her seeds are growing, but she is enjoying it, and she is out there. She is out in her robe with her little hawk, you know, and here again, just so very beautiful. And that's the beginning of that inspiration that I could live my best life. And I, you know, now I'm happily married to a beautiful woman. And so we found each other in the midst of that hot mess. So, you know, even in the mess, in the midst of it, there can still be love and joy.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And so
Always.
to find that. And then, of course, this is, we talked about already, the High Priestess. And here she is from the Light Seers Tarot.
Put that card back up again. Look at that card really close, you guys. Look at her eyes. When you move that card, they open.
Oh, they do. Look at that.
Yeah, they do.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
I had, I had a.
It's very beautiful.
I was like, whoa! And it does it on the box too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the Queen of Pentacles, and I love her here again in the Light Seers Tarot. So calm, so reposed, again, being my earth sign. And to really, I could be in a rush. That's one of the things that my wife taught me. Is like, why are you always in a rush? So why do you give yourself 45 minutes to leave when if you gave yourself an hour and 15 minutes, you wouldn't be rushing, right? Because that whole thing to slow down. And then this is from my Dreams of Gaia deck, the Queen of Earth.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
Wow.
That's beautiful.
I love her. And then Heather Hardison, if you never followed her show is called her podcast is called Healing Through Tarot. And she has a whole thing about reclaiming the witch archetype. Because even I kind of struggled with that word. But she said most of us do is because we were probably killed as a witch. You know, and then she said, so think about when you think of a witch, you think of some old hag. Hey, Gina M, welcome from the UK,
Gina.
right? You know, with a ward and looking all horrible. But that was a whole smear campaign against the divine feminine. Listen to the stories we have here and how we could guide our young women. And we're all healers, you know. So again, there's this whole power in the divine feminine that was robbed from us. And then again, people worrying about critical race theory. Well, I don't want people to feel bad. Well, you know, you haven't even told women's history. So you won't tell the truth about Black history. You won't even tell the truth about women's history, you know, because there's a power. There is a power in women's history and understanding who we are. And so she takes this thing, she goes to each one of the queens and talks about what type of witch she is. And that power. And so, of course, she had number 1 as the Queen of Wands, that fire. And of course, she has her little kitty cat, her familiar. And I love this from my Dreams of Gaia deck, the Queen of Fire. And then there's her little kitty cat with her.
Oh, wow.
I'll send you all a picture of that deck. So
that's beautiful.
All very interesting. And you know, the power of women together. The power of women together. So I know if you have other goddesses that you want to share, I'm going to start and we'll go in the same order. I'll come back to you, Sonja, EQ, and then Katie. So this is a goddess. This is a deck that I guarded with my heart, and it's the Kuan Yin Oracle.
Oh, that's a gorgeous image on the front.
Yes. Now I have that on my wish list.
This is the very first goddess. My wife had this deck, and then one day I was using it, and Kuan Yin's like, "Hello, I've been trying to work with you," and she was the first one to come to me. And so here are some of my favorite cards from this deck. This one, the many-handed goddess, that I had to learn, just like being here, collaborating with you great ladies, I had to let go of the myth of the powerful super Black woman. Okay, that's the tired, worn out woman. And I don't want to be her. Now I'm powerful, and believe me, you know, I'm powerful, but I'm more powerful when I collaborate. I'm more powerful when I come from a place of rest and repose. And that's what Kuan Yin tells me, call upon me. I can move in realms that you're not in yet. I can talk to your family.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Did she freeze or we freeze?
I think she froze.
I
Yeah.
think she froze.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Okay, we'll give her a second while we get our
When we get ours, yeah.
stuff together.
There she is.
Here we go.
Oh, there you are. Well,
I
we
was
hear you,
looking
but you're. Oh, there you are.
Yes.
Okay.
You know, mother fears in that, you know, if you really, 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 if for some reason you think how awful or frightful can Minnassa be, make me think you're going to do something to harm my child. I will come at you in a way. See, because I grew up in a family, I'm 5'6". That's considered tall in my family. All my aunts, they all like 4'11". No, we're good now. We came out, Lily. You know, these ladies were 4'10". I won't fight with them now. Broken hips, legs, right? And so again, here with Kuan Yin, enter the Jade Temple, that invitation to step into the sacred space, that sacred divine feminine. And then her last card, the Tai Chi rising. Again, allowing, like the dancers from Thailand, yes. Allowing the rise of that power, the flow. The Tai Chi is that flow. It's that dance. It's that way of moving and allowing that to rise up in me. And so I love me some Kuan Yin and Ichil. Lord, we have to, you know what, we're going to have this way. This is part number 1. I just want to get this for sure. Y'all know this is.
Oh, you can take a goddess and just talk about her for an entire show, for sure.
Show number 1, we all going to be back together. And hello, Arlene. Welcome. All right. Sonja, who you got to share?
Well, one of my first goddesses that I fell in love with was Oshun. And I love me some Oshun.
I'm going to send you a picture. We have a Oshun here. Yes.
So from the African Goddess Rising deck, Oshun.
Abiola.
And you will always see Oshun in the water. She has her honey pot. That's her little sweetness that she likes to put on you. And her mirror. So that reflection of self-love and you know, just remembering that. I have another one here of Oshun. And I love this one. She's just like leisurely, just laying in the river there. And this one says sensuality. So the one thing that I love here, it says about her, it says, dare to love, begin with loving yourself. Allow yourself to be loved. You feel everything deeply. You are porous with a wall around your heart. This is your paradox. And her declaration is, I give love, I receive love, I am love.
All right now. All right.
Yes. So she is just powerful. And then my other one is, and I've had experiences with her, is Kali.
I was hoping you were going to bring her up. Yes.
So my first introduction with Kali is that, you know, I may have been in a dream state. I may have not. I don't know. But I was sleeping. You know, you kind of wake up and you're kind of like, what is that moving? You know, and I looked and she was there, like right there looking at me. And, you know, I was startled for a second. I'm like, wait, what? And I'm like, oh, that's Kali. Interesting. So I didn't know why she came to me in that moment. But later on, I was doing, doing a plant ceremony. I was doing a psilocybin ceremony. And I felt this energy come in, and it was really powerful and really intense. And I, you know, was kind of like trying to figure out, like, okay, who's here, what's going on, and then I felt her, you know, as a channeler, I'm able to take on spirits and things, and so, you know, I became part of her, or she became part of me, and her energy was so intense and so powerful, and she actually came to play because the music that was playing around, she was intrigued by it. She was intrigued of being part of a body, and But it became too much and I had to like kind of release her. But the one thing that really stands out with me about Kali is it says, and because that she came to me and she was dancing through me, this saying here says, Kali has begun her dance in your life to tell you it is time to face your fears. All that is lurking ominously, either buried deep in your inner darkness or close by, needs to be stared in the eye and brought into the light of consciousness. Are your fears serving you by warning you about a dangerous places, things, or people? Or do your fears prevent you from dancing your dance, living your life, and creating your creation? Kali comes to tell you what your dance is needed as part of the whole dance of creation. And I just thought that was so powerful because, as you're going through transformation and as you're doing different things in your life, fear is going to come up. And it does, it can prevent you. It's a good indicator and it's great to let you know what's going on, but you don't want to allow it to keep you back, allow it to keep you from living your best life and stepping into that powerful being that we all can be. But we get in our own way a lot of times. And that was totally me. I always, always consistently getting in my life. Or when things got good, I would find a way to tear it down because I wanted to go back into my safe bubble. So I really feel that that's why she came to me and to teach me how to be fierce, to teach me how to stand in my power and not allow that fear and to work with it. You can work with that fear to propel you versus to keep you in the shadows and keep you hidden.
Wow. Well, Gina M said she can really relate to what you're sharing.
Oh, good, Gina. Good. Yes. She is, she's intense.
Indeed.
She is really, really intense. But that's beautiful. And I also just wanted to share when I was kind of reinventing myself, hearing EQ talk about her name resonated with me. Um, Lee was my middle name, which is now my last name. And I kept that name because my whole entire family has the middle name Lee. And I didn't, plus my daughter has it. So I wanted to have that connection. But I didn't want to go back to my maiden name, which was Fields. It just, I changed and it just didn't resonate with me. So I had always wanted to call my daughter when she was born, I wanted to name her Rayne, Rayne, but her father didn't like that name. And I was like, okay. So I said, you know what? That's going to be my new middle name, Sonja Rayne Lee. I was like, I'm going to keep my, middle name, but it's going to be my last name now. And I never knew what that name meant. And I looked it up one day and I went, oh my God, it means queen and counselor.
Ah,
So
very true. Very apropos.
I said, this is my new name. So
Yeah.
we can always reinvent ourselves whenever we want. And it doesn't necessarily have to be a name change, but this is the power that we have, the transformation that we can all step into to create the lives that we want and create who we want to be. So never forget that.
Very true. Wow. All right, EQ, you're up.
So mine's going to be a little bit different. So I don't have like goddess cards yet, but something I just ordered the other day, and it's, so if you guys can see at least the book there.
The star seed, yes.
Okay. Oh, yes. Okay.
Beautiful.
So there's two that I identify with, and I'm going to read through these. I'm going to show you the first one. You guys see the card, and then this one is the Seven Star Sisters. Okay, this one talks about birthing, creation, or tapestry of life, expression. And with that, it talks about there are new creations that want to be born, beauty that's yearning to be woven, new consciousness that's longing to be breathed into life. If you draw this card, you're being called to surrender to these creations. And I feel like it goes along with our channels, the Soul Sisters Tarot, that me and Sonja, how we met and how we just been on this journey, almost like parallel lives. We've got a lot of similarities, and it just makes me feel like, we just birthed this, and now we're in this beautiful community. And I feel like, we're a part of that whole Seven Sisters, star seeds. And then also the other one is called the Double mission. Look at that card. Isn't that beautiful?
Oh, that's gorgeous.
Very nice.
Mhm.
The double mission. Okay, I'm going to read through this one. Light worker seeds are mission and purpose orientated. Many have the feeling that time's running out. There's something they came here to do, create or contribute. They're here to grow as souls individually, which is the individual mission, and also to contribute to the planet in some action-oriented way, a collective mission. And that's what we're doing, all of us. We have our own mission, but yet we're collectively giving of ourselves to uplift the vibration of the planet and each other. So I just feel like this is us. This is what we're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very powerful. Thank you. All right, KD, close this section out.
Oh, well, I got a card to close it with. I got goosebumps every time I think about her.
Mother Mary. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Every Easter, every Christmas, every holiday season that has to do with a Christian holiday, I wonder about what were her thoughts from the time she was carrying that baby. What'd she think? I look at the doubts that I have that, with my abilities and my gifts here, doing what I do. And I wonder, am I really worthy of this? Can you imagine the weight on her shoulders that she was going to give birth to this master? And she was told what was going to happen before it happened. And then for it all to end in such a violent way. I've always tried to look at the whole story because I was raised a Southern Baptist fundamentalist Christian. Kind of Southern Baptist where you're not allowed to dance even. Put a lid on it, people. Not me! But anyway, we always have heard Jesus' side. We've always heard the male disciples' side. And I'm sick of that story. I want to hear both the Marys. And, some of those disciples also had wives. So I get really hot and bothered about it. How they have written women out of Christianity, basically. We're the womb of the world. We're the womb of the universe.
Amen.
We can bring life without a seed. Men can't. That's why they fear us. That's why they fear that power. And so with Mary Magdalene, I wonder about her too. The Marys, Jesus' mother.
Yeah.
Very awesome. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Just the power, and again, you talk about that they've taken women out of Christianity, but they also took women out of even Judaism.
Yes.
If you remember in Sunday school, and they talked about always things to try to, I'm going to leave that alone. But there's a story here. That's
another topic.
If you read through the Old Testament, through the stories of the Jewish people through their journey, they're always getting in trouble with this one goddess. They try to tear down her poles, and people are always worshiping her. And it's like, what's the deal? Well, because what they knew that we didn't know is that Asherah is God's wife, right? It doesn't to them that you can. It's like, yes, she was the queen of heaven, just like that's Hera's name in Greek, and yet she's always a fool, right? She's always being made. But yes, again, here's these very powerful divine feminine energies that are being, and it's hard to keep them out. She's always in there, always causing them trouble, but they don't talk about they didn't want, like you talked about Brigitte. When the Catholics got there to the Celtic places, they weren't letting her go, so they made her a saint. I mean, that's how powerful she is. They were like, We ain't taking your boy God without some women's. And so Saint Bridget she's a lady they created, but she's really them. Wow. The stories of transformation, the journey of connecting with our divine, even the honoring of the goddess Kali, who is, been presented. People don't realize she's a mother goddess. She's just fierce. But she is a mother goddess. She is that divine feminine. The divine feminine isn't about being weak. And yes, it's about operating, like you said, Sonja, from that sensual place. But again, step to my daughter and make me think you're going to harm her. You will regret. You will regret.
Yeah. Mama bear.
That whole idea. And what a beautiful, I am so grateful. So I don't want to end by doing readings because I just think that one person's going to get one because we're running out of time. But ladies, I'm going to ask you, I know you all have this capacity and I will do the same. Sonja, I think the last time I did a reading for you, I had a prophetic word for you. And I'm telling you, I was worn out the rest of the day because I haven't used that energy in a long time. And so I'm asking all of us, pick one of your favorite cards. And really for the energy that we have left, I think it's very powerful that we're in the season of Pisces, that intuitive, flowing, love-filled sign. And then today the moon is in Cancer. So again, all of that divine feminine energy is surrounding and swirling and just showed up on YouTube like, hey, get out the way with y'all program and let us show. But of course, that was the program. So if you would pick one of your divine, and EQ, I have that deck that you shared, that Soul Starseed deck, and I didn't like it when I first got it. I'm going to look at it again today, girl. I'm going to look at it again.
Sometimes you have to do that. I've gotten cards that I've put away and I'll pull them and I'm like, they might have just not been right in that moment. But later on when we revisit, we're kind of like, oh, you find a new love or something different comes up.
Very true. Yeah. Very true. So I'm going to ask each one of you ladies that in the remainder, because we're coming to the end of the astrological year, if you would pick one of your cards that you went over today and to give a prophetic word, speak, which is your intuitive.
Oh, of a card that we already used?
Yes, representing one of your divine feminine energies. And what is the message for the remainder? How do we close out this year and prepare to step into the new astrological year in the 18th or 19th of this month? What is the intuitive message, the prophetic word from the divine feminine? Or if you have another divine feminine card that you want to use, I'm not going to restrict you to ones you've already used.
Spirit told me to pick from something else. So
yeah, I got one.
Follow that. I honor that, but really to bring, do that, to really just bring that message forward. So I'll give you a few minutes because I'll do something kind of similar, Sonja. And then when we're ready, we'll let Katie lead the charge.
This is from the Ethereal Visions Tarot. I just love this Justice card.
Justice.
Did you ever notice that in all of the tarot decks, that the Justice Angel is definitely the divine feminine, folks? I happened to notice that last year, and I was like, what is wrong with our government? Why? What is the main thing that was wrong that things could be so and it hit me like a ton of bricks. Statue of Liberty, female, divine, female. Our silver dollars used to have a divine feminine figure on it. Those are all gone. The only ones we have left are the Statue of Liberty and the Justice card, the Justice. So we got to bring her back. She's back. She's like, no, we don't got to bring her back. I just heard this in my ear. I'm here. I'm not back. I'm here. Stand in her.
Excellent. Justice. Yes. Justice. All right. EQ.
So I'm going to go with this card here. This is the Strength card.
Mm.
And I'm so drawn to this because, one, I'm a Leo.
All right.
And to me, this is about, the element is fire, which is also part of Leo. And as this relates to the feminine power, it's us standing in our strength, not allowing anything to tear us down. And I'm going to bring in this High Priestess, following your intuition, your inner strength as well, not just the outer strength, not that physical strength, but the inner feminine strength. And it lies within all of us. We just tap into it and it's right there. So I just felt like, these two go together for me.
Very good. Thank you so much. And Sonja?
Well, I mean, that's perfect that the way this is going, because as you step into all of that, just be you. When I was shuffling, this is what fell out. Uniquely myself. And it says, I trust that who I am is perfect for my unique journey and soul path. And what's interesting, you notice, look at her earrings. She has, looks like peacock earrings.
All right. All right. All right.
When that fell out, I was like, oh, interesting. But yes, you don't need to be anybody else. You don't need to try to be anyone. Be you. Show up as yourself, because that is what's going to shine for people. That is what's going to attract people to you, if you're just being who you are and unapologetically. Long as you're coming from a place of love and a place of kindness and wanting to be there for others and open up to others, just be you. So
very beautiful, very beautiful. And so the card that I wanted to talk about earlier, but I thought this is perfect. So this card is the 8 of Cups. And what I like about this woman is that she's walking towards the light. She has left behind that which is no longer serving her and boldly walking forward. And I think that is very much the message as we end this year. Release what is behind. KD, EQ, Sonja, and I we could still all be stuck in our narratives of the victim. Oh, this breast cancer got me, or my divorce, my husband didn't understand me, and all these. But we released that narrative and went towards the light. And sometimes you don't know what's ahead of you, but if you keep your eye on the prize and you keep your eye focused on moving forward, that what's behind you, you take that which is good and you say thank you and you move forward. And I really feel that is the season that we are in. That even think about what's happening in the Ukraine. It's like, I just want to say Putin. It's like, do you know what century we're in? That's like, dude.
Yeah.
Right. But again, leaving that old way of being behind, I really feel that to walk into astrological year that's starting with Aries, to walk forward boldly. You may not know the way, but even as Dr. Martin Luther King says, you don't need to see the whole staircase. Just take the next step.
Yep.
Just take the next step.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
First of all, thank these amazing women, Katie, EQ, and Sonja, for being here again. I thank all of you who are in the chat, and thank you for your love and support. For those of you who will watch it later, thank you. Each one of these ladies in the show summary, I have Soul Sisters, Sonja, EQ, and Katie's links, so you can go right to them. Thank you, J Rock. You can go right to them. I also invite you to get connected with me. I have a podcast. I'm on Instagram where you can see the snow, the 3 in my yard. You can hear I go over the tarot deck, all those things. But also, again, we are all a part of Tarot Love Community. And we invite you, if you are lurking or you come across this show. I had a young lady who listened to my podcast, and I talked about the Lenormand cards, which is a whole different story. And she said, I've been wanting to use them, but you went through them. And so I bought the deck. Right. So if you wonder, are my intuitive gifts, is this really something about me? Or, is this right? Should I be doing this? Look at the 4 of us here. The answer is yes. Mm-hmm. The answer is yes. And the world, Katie, could not be more. We need you. The light needs you. We need you operating, as Gina, and release it. And We need all of us light workers, male and female, operating that divine energy. It is time to transform the world.
Well
And
put.
just like justice isn't on its way, it's here. The high priestess is here. That strength within us is here. Being our magnificent self is here. And we've got to walk forward in that energy. It's the time. So go ahead and get your tarot deck. I'm glad my wife isn't watching this show because y'all all had decks that I don't have, which means I'm going to have to get those decks. She'll be like, where do you want to put that deck? I'm running out of space where I keep my decks now. But
so you buy a bookshelf.
That's true. That's where they're all on the bookshelf. But I should have got a 5-level bookshelf instead of 3-level. So again, what a powerful show, and it's because of the divine feminine, and basically because of the divine rocking through these amazing guests. Let me pat myself on the back for inviting these amazing women. It's one way to look good, and then you have these awesome women. It's like, what a great show. I know, because I had these great women. I love all of you, and I thank you for being here. Thank you to all of you, who are here. Blessings to you. Be safe. Be warm if you're in Arizona and California, where I'm at. Make sure you put your coat on and your Nordic socks like I got on right now, my sweats. And also next week, my show, which is its regular time, I guess, will be Lily Benu, who is my daughter, but she is an intuitive in her own right. We're going to talk about crystal. She's the Crystal Queen Lily. She is Reiki. She does resins and affirmations, and we'll have her on the show to talk about all of those things. I thank you all. Thank you for your encouragement. It's a great show. Blessings, and see you next time.
Bye.
Bye-bye.